So I watched an AI slop video of We Are Charlie Kirk Arabic version. Don't ask why I clicked on it. It was just there, like a philosophical conundrum waiting to be solved. Or a curse. Anyway, one of the commenters said something that was simultaneously cliche, funny, and exactly the kind of sentence that gets philosophers into trouble. AI slop implies AI gem, or more generally, the existence of A implies the existence of B. Now, this sentence has intrigued me for a surprisingly long time. Not as a semantic statement, not as a meme, but as an ontological declaration. The kind of claim that accidentally wanders into metaphysics without realizing it crossed the border. And I never really considered making a video about it. Until today. Hi, I'm Fuad, and I make videos questioning the stories we take for granted. Let's get philosophical. Let's start with what AI slop actually is, because the moment you try to define it, things get weird. AI slop isn't really an object. It's not even a category in a strict sense. It's an evaluative judgment applied to outputs within a distribution, which sounds boring, but is unfortunately more accurate. In other words, when you call something slop, you're already assuming a hidden structure exists, a scale, a ranking, a metric. Some invisible scoreboards that allow you to say this output is worse than that output. And it matters, because slop is never alone. It exists inside a space where better and worse already make sense. No scale, no slop. Now, here's where the original sentence starts doing something interesting and slightly illegal. Philosophically speaking, it assumes a kind of aesthetic symmetry. If there is garbage, there must be genius. If there is noise, there must be signal. If there is slop, there must be gem. This intuition is understandable though. It feels right. It feels unfair for one side of the equation to exist without the other. But just because it feels right does not mean it has to be. The assumption only works if the space of outputs is naturally balanced, or morally balanced, or designed by a cosmic accountant who insists every negative entry must have a positive counterpart. And none of those assumptions are guaranteed. The existence of low-quality outputs does not logically force the existence of high-quality ones. What it forces is something much boring. The existence of a standard, a criterion, a framework by which low-quality outputs can be recognized as low quality in the first place. That's all, nothing more. The metaphysical invoice stops there. So what is an AI gem? Strictly speaking, not an object that must exist. It's simply the possibility created by the scale itself. The moment you say, this output is bad, you've already implied that something could be better, maybe much better, maybe even excellent. We are talking about possibility, not existence. A coordinate system does not guarantee an object at every coordinate. The map is not obligated to populate itself. Just because you could be better does not mean you already are. Reality leaves that part blank surprisingly often. Now, let's push this even further. Suppose we borrow a more extreme framework, something like the modal realism of David Lewis. In that framework, there are possible worlds where AI outputs are genuinely brilliant. There are also possible worlds where AI can make real good metalcore song, which, depending on your philosophical commitments, is either paradise or the final stage of cultural collapse. It's cheap to imagine those possibilities, but that does not mean it could be instantiated into your social media feed. Instantiation is expensive. Reality is under no contractual obligation to be interesting. So, the final conclusion is a little disappointing, which, incidentally, is how many philosophical conclusions feel. The sentence AI slop implies AI gem is not wrong because it's false. It's wrong because it quietly upgrades a semantic contrast into a metaphysical necessity without any epistemic credentials whatsoever. Slop doesn't imply gem. Slop implies a scale. And a scale only implies gems if you assume the universe is obligated to fill in its aesthetic endpoints, which is a remarkably optimistic assumption to make about a reality that also produced We Are Charlie Kirk Arabic version. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the discussion hall.